How's everybody doing? It's that time of the week again. Raw. I just went straight to Raw. I didn't bother with Genesis. Seeing as that, I don't know, it's Genesis, and I don't know. I'll look into it. Maybe I will review it, but because I got like what 4 months until their next pay-per-view. So anyway, we're going to do things a little differently. I know I've only done 2 episodes, but we're going to try it a little differently. Now, I saw the 20th anniversary of Raw here in Houston, Texas, but I didn't take any notes, and the reason is I'm going to rewatch it. I have it on screen right over here, right next to me. You can't see it, but I'm going to watch it segment by segment, and I'm going to stop the camera and watch a segment and review it, and so forth and so forth and so forth. You get the idea. Alright, well, let me watch the opening segment, because that's the place to start, and I will be back. Alright, so first off, I really like the opening. It basically collaborated, like, or combined, really, all the Raw intros, like the music and the, you know, if you're a Raw fan, you know what I'm talking about. Like the first one, the Thorn in Your Eye. I can't remember who that is, but you know, To Be Loved by Papa Roach. It was good. Brought back some memories, better memories than what this left on me. I really thought they were going to go all out on this, seeing as that it's the 20th anniversary. This is just a quick note before I get into the opening segment. I was sorely disappointed. I mean, they had their 15th anniversary, and I really liked that. They had like a battle royale with like all the like jobbers and stuff. Like I had Repo Man, and they had what was that name of that? The Mean Street Posse. They had one of them. But yeah. Oh, and their 1000th episode was glorious. You had the DX reunion, and like I mentioned in the last video, don't expect anything like that. I also made myself some cocoa, because it's a cold day in Houston, it's been cold, but it's gotten really cold. Anyway, so the opening segment. Vince McMahon is already in the ring, and oh, Vince. I have had so many memories of Vince and Austin and stuff, and I guess he thinks just because he's out there, it's gonna be awesome, but in the past 2 months, it's, again, like the Miz, just Boresville. Boresville! Okay? So what this leads up to is he's talking about how he's a certified genius because Raw's been on the air for 20 fucking years. He's got balls. I'll give him that. Huge balls for saying that. I don't know how it makes him a genius. It's just really pure dumb luck, seeing as that Nitro was on top for a while in the ratings. Anyway, so he's in the ring, he's saying, oh, 20th anniversary, yay, yay, and then he gets cut off by Big Show. Big Show comes out and says, I want to address the events on SmackDown. If you don't know, on SmackDown, Alberto Del Rio won the championship from Big Show in a last man standing match for whatever reason. I guess they dropped, like, he dropped the title to Alberto Del Rio for a surprise, even though they blew the surprise on Tuesday night, which is when they film it, but it doesn't air until Friday. But anyway, anyway. Yeah. And so they're going back and forth, and he's like, I want to dress it. And of course, he's cut off by Alberto Del Rio, and this ends in them kind of brawling at the end because he's mad. And I said this in about, what, 3 minutes? They took a good 15, 20 minutes just to say that shit. And then I started to realize, this isn't gonna be like the 1000th Raw, is it? But of course, Michael Cole, JBL, and Waller are there in suits. In suits. Like it's gonna be a big event. Like there's gonna be shit going down. No. Oh, and then like, Vince McMahon is saying, while he's in the ring, he's like, we're gonna continue to dominate with matches like what we have tonight, Dolph Ziggler versus John Cena. Like I haven't fucking seen that before. They're just in a cage. Who gives a shit? And the Rock concert is announced because it was so good once, why not do it twice? Okay, next segment is Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton. Really, I kind of look at, I really like Randy Orton. I do like, I don't really like him, I like him. I really like Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett really is a talented guy. Seeing as that Wade Barrett is the Intercontinental Champion, and Randy Orton is Randy Orton, and he's almost like, he's pretty much second best to Cena, like in power and winning matches and, you know, all that good stuff. It's hard to take him down. And so I thought Wade Barrett being the Intercontinental Champion, this would be a cakewalk for Randy Orton, as Wade Barrett usually is, sadly. But it wasn't. It was a fair fight all the way down, pretty much. And Wade Barrett won. Intercontinental Champion got a win over the immortal Randy Orton. And his move, the bullhammer, I think that's what it's called. Wade Barrett, he like takes his like his elbow pad, and I don't know if he's turning it inside out or if he has like another one. He had like a black and it was like turning red. I couldn't tell if like he was like turning it inside out, which he probably is, or like a second one, and that's what he hits, because he hits you in the face with his elbow. But that was pretty cool. I like that. You know, it's a nice little touch. But yeah, I thought it was kind of weird how Wade Barrett kicked his ass, though Randy Orton is looking for time off, so they're probably just using him right now to get other younger talent over. But yeah, that was it in a nutshell, and we have to hear about this Rock concert again. It's not that good. It was okay the first time. I didn't expect it really to go much farther than that. It's just him playing, you know, we'll get to it when we get to it. Alright. So, next we follow Eve walking for no apparent reason. And she runs into Teddy Long and Booker T for a happening. Glad that we were following her. So, because, we'll backtrack. Last week, we got to see Eve keep her championship because she got counted out because she just walked away from the match because she got frustrated. So Booker T says, well, you have a match tonight, and if you even try to get disqualified or get counted out, you are stripped of your title. And so she's like, you know, she's kind of like caressing, you know, Booker T, and she's like, well, I'm sure we could, oh, what did she say? You know, she says something really, really cliche. It's like, I'm sure we could, come up with something else. And, he just starts, like, he looks like he's, like, into it, and then he just starts laughing, and then Teddy Long starts laughing, and they start laughing their asses off, actually. And it's not that funny. But the funny part is because they found it so fucking hilarious. But it all comes down to Eve goes, "What are you laughing at, Teddy Long?" and just slaps the shit out of him. Just like, crack! But after that, last week we were told that Dr. Shelby is going to be back for evaluations of Kane and Daniel Bryan, because Lord knows that WWE can't have a funny segment and then just run it into the ground as far as possible. So we gotta bring back Dr. Shelby. So he sits them down, and or before this, it's Kane and Daniel Bryan, and thank God Dr. Shelby wasn't watching this before he walked in. They're like, let's just give him the answer he wants. We'll give Dr. Shelby what he wants, you know. So he can go away. We don't like him. So they sit down. Dr. Shelby comes in, and he's like, "Well, we're clearly over this because we're getting along." He's like, "Not so fast. I just got a couple questions for both of y'all," and really he only has one. And it's, what do you like about the other one? And not Dr. Shelby. Daniel Bryan says I like that he's tall, that he can make fire erupt from places just by putting his hands down, and he's one hell of a dancer. And what were Kane's? There was, oh, he's very agile in the ring. He's got a great beard, and I had to write this down, so I got it right. He says, he says, and he's not afraid to admit he likes to wear women's clothing. And Dr. Shelby's just nice. He's like, or he's just happy, and he says, "I got one more test for y'all." And so he brings in Rhodes Scholars. And, you know, sure enough, it's because Dr. Shelby wants them to make Kane and Daniel Bryan angry so they can go to their happy place and that they can overcome their anger. You know, standard stuff. But, of course, Damien Sandow gets all critical of the way he's, you know, given their evaluation and whatnot, and they call him Dr. Phil. No, they don't call him Dr. Phil. They say that Dr. Phil is better than Dr. Shelby, and Dr. Shelby just loses it and is like, get him! And he's motioning to Team Hell No, and they just start, you know, whipping their asses. And that's pretty much it. They all three scream yes because they're happy that they beat them up and nothing is accomplished because they haven't overcome their anger. I don't know how they expect to trick Dr. Shelby, seeing as that their program is live on They're live on TV and millions of people watch it, including probably Dr. Shelby. So following that, I forgot to mention it, is Kane versus Damien Sandow. This is a really quick match, and again, you have two guys that are, you know, good at what they do, and you give them a quick match. But yeah, Kane wins. So next they they announced their first inductee to the Hall of Fame, and it's Mick Foley, and he comes out and he starts pandering like Mick Foley does and nowadays, and how he always did. It's interrupted by the Shield, and I don't know, I believe, yeah. The Shield, when they come out, their entrance music, it's like countries or cities or something. Whenever, it's through a megaphone. And it's really confusing because they don't always play it when they come out. So it's really jarring. I'm like, what is going on? And then their music hits and I'm like, oh yeah. And it took me a while to get even that. Until they're like, oh, it's the Shield coming out. And second of all, it really brings into question when they're coming out of the crowd, because that's what they do. They like ascend down onto the ring, and they're coming from like 3 different ways. And how does the guy running the music and the video, like the Titantron, how does he know that they're coming? So either he's in on it, on the Mick Foley ambush, or he's the he's the best at what he does, you know? Because they don't always play it when they come out. Like when they come out of the entrance ramp, they always play it, which is rare. And whenever they come out of the crowd, they almost never play it. It actually goes back to like Aces and Eights when they come out. They come out through like the like a side entrance, and they play their music. Why? How is the sound guy gonna know that they're coming out? It doesn't make any sense, is what I'm basically trying to say. Yeah, but anyway, so they ascend onto the ring, and it looks like they're gonna kick their ass. And of course, Ryback comes out, because you can't have Ryback in a match. This talented guy for his size, you can't have him in a match. He's got to do run-ins every fucking week. So, yeah, he comes down and he does this thing. It's actually pretty cool. I guess he started shopping at the same place Hulk gets his shirts, because like he has like this shirt, and it's one of these ones that's like cut, like the sides are cut off, and he just rips it off his body and starts, you know, marching to the ring. So of course they overtake him almost immediately, and then Randy Orton runs down to the ring and they overtake him. And then finally Sheamus gets in the ring and they get their asses handed to them by all 3. They must really trying to drive home that these guys are dangerous, because it took Sheamus, who's unstoppable, Randy Orton, who's unstoppable, and Ryback, who on a good day is unstoppable. So yeah, that was pretty much that in a nutshell. It was cool. And next comes the Divas match, which we already knew what the outcome was going to be, because Eve is basically leaving WWE because she's burned out. Understandable. Their schedules are incredibly busy, and she's been at since 2007, I believe. Anyway, so it's Eve versus Caitlyn. And I completely forgot that Caitlyn is from Houston. Makes me like her a little bit, but she's still... I didn't know that the 2 wig-wearing woman was from Houston. So yeah, with that being in her home, with her being in her hometown, although Vince is known to keep wrestlers from winning in their hometown, but anyway, so yeah, this match is basically already spoiled. With that stipulation in mind that we just went over whenever she was talking to Booker T, I don't know why they just didn't end in a count out, or not a count out because that would have been weird, but a disqualification, like she tried to get away with something. Seeing as that they put it in place for a reason and it had nothing to do with anything. But yeah. Oh, Cole Cole said, yeah, she's won the Divas Championship, and she's been trying to get it since she started in NXT a couple weeks ago. I don't know what he meant, maybe a couple years, but she's been there for longer than a couple of weeks. Just saying, Cole. Okay, so next on our list is the Brodus Clay promo for Brodus Clay. I'm sorry, Brodus Clay versus CM Punk. And he actually acts like he has a chance. And this is all because he mentioned him in the promo last week about how he's a 400-pound monster and he dances around with fucking kids and stuff in the ring. But in what universe does Brodus Clay beat CM Punk? And he doesn't. CM Punk kicks his ass. Like, just kicks his fucking ass. And why wouldn't he? Why would we want to ever see Brodus Clay want to get the win? Anyway, so I've been meaning to, or I haven't been meaning, I have completely forgotten about their 20th anniversary celebration, like, clip shows. They had one, like, about the weird gimmicks that people had, like Gold Dust, Boogeyman, Repo Man. They had a really funny, I think William Regal. I apologize for forgetting him, but they had his "He's a Man" song in there. But anyway, so they had Trump versus Vince McMahon, which anytime they ever have a celebration, they have to bring this up for whatever reason. I didn't think it was that good of an angle in the first place when it, like, actually happened, and I still don't think it is. And another one they oddly bring up, and they brought it up right at the start of the show, was Bob Barker whenever he hosted it. Why? I like Bob Barker. He's a good guy. Nothing against you, Bob Barker. But why is this like a highlight of Raw? Whenever he brought The Price is Right onto the show, he punched out Chavo. As odd as that is, it's still, I don't think it deserves to be in there. I don't know. It's just me. Alright. First off, if you realize that the sparkly hat left the scene for a little while, it's because I knocked it down and I didn't realize it. Anyway, we cut to Cole and Lawler and JBL, and they basically swipe us into the next video package, which is vehicular disasters, or whatever they call it. It's basically all the, you know, or not basically, it is a lot of the stuff that involved vehicles, like Austin on the beer truck and the Zamboni. Those clips you've seen about 1 billion fucking times, because I can't get enough of him on that Zamboni or that beer truck or filling Vince McMahon's car with cement. Granted, I love Steve Austin, you know, the Attitude Era and everything, but I'm so tired of seeing those fucking clips. That's not all the Austin that you're gonna see. Don't worry, because the Mike Tyson one is gonna come up as well. Because we can't go a second without reminding you that he got into a little bit of a brawl with Mike Tyson. Anyway, so I'm still not quite sure on what this next match, like what were the rules. It was a battle royale over the top rope, but it involved Sheamus and 3MB, so 4 guys. I'm not sure if it was a over the top 1 or 3-on-1, or if it was a free for all and they just happened, or of course they're gonna help each other out before helping Sheamus. I don't know, because Jinder Mahal and terrible today. Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre were eliminated pretty much immediately, and then it was Heath Slater versus Sheamus, and surprisingly, Heath Slater pulled this one out of his ass, and he won. There was a lot of outside involvement with Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. They basically beat the shit out of Sheamus at one point, and I think they ended up pulling him over. I don't know. I didn't want to rewatch the match, so I'm not gonna. It was a surprising victory for them, and then of course Sheamus just lays him out. So yeah, 20th anniversary. So it was Mick Foley, and he's talking to his kids, and Rock comes in. And I really like this scene. Nothing really happened. I just really like it because they legitimately seemed like they enjoyed working with each other. Rock was all smiles, and so was Mick Foley. They were talking about his Hall of Fame induction, and he was trying to get him to say the finally, and when he did it, he paused. He said, "Finally, The Rock!" And he paused and pointed to Mick Foley, and he's like, "The sock," and I really enjoyed that. Just that one little thing, and it was good. Then Vicky Guerrero comes in, starts some stuff, and it just goes back and forth, really, her pushing her weight around, and she looks at Rock and says, excuse me, she says, "Do you have anything to say to me?" And it's just silence for like 3 seconds. And he's like, "No." And, excuse me. And Mick Foley's like, "Why didn't you tear her apart?" You know, things like that. And he's like, "There's a time and place for everything. Just letting you know, you'll enjoy the Rock show." So, and one can only assume, and you'll assume, right, that he'll have a song for Vicky Guerrero. Whatever. But yeah, I like the moment. But next to come up was The Miz comes out, and I just sat back and sighed as I watched this all unfold. But it gets better. In fact, that is like that's like a statement for this entire segment. Is that it seems like it's gonna be really bad, but it gets really good. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm a huge Ric Flair fan. Huge Ric Flair fan. And that's who was his guest on there. And Rick does the got the Rolex watch, and you know, his whole thing, the jet flying, limousine riding. And he does the elbow drop to the jacket. That's always awesome. I really wish they'd let him, because it seems so scripted though. It seemed like it was scripted, or a part of Ric Flair has died. Because he was just like, you know, like when he was on TNA, they just let him cut loose. Just cut loose, and he's just sweating and elbow dropping his jacket and going crazy. But it all ends up that Antonio Cesaro comes out and does this whole "I hate America" shtick, and Ric Flair like knocks him to the ground, and puts him in his why are words eluding me today? He puts him in a lock. Let's just say that he puts him in a lock, and or no, he doesn't. I'm sorry. He goes to do it, And then he decides to let The Miz do it. And while The Miz is, you know, doing this to Cesaro, he's just strutting, doing his Ric Flair strut all around the ring. And that's when he takes off the jacket and elbow drops his jacket. And he actually does a knee drop and then elbow drops Miz's jacket. Awesome. 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 Elbow dropping his jacket. Yeah, I decided to just let it run because this is just another like segment where they're showing weddings, Raw and stuff. Anyway, so there's a Daniel Bryan and Cody Rhodes match. Again, really fast match. Daniel Bryan wins. I guess they're just squashing the shit out of Rhodes Scholars. So, and I was doing the wedding thing. AJ Lee and Biggie Langston are, which is a really weird part because all AJ Lee talks about is other people's wedding, and then Biggie Langston says this was the best ever, and it's the AJ and Daniel Bryan wedding. And then AJ, after it says, that was the best one ever, then why the fuck didn't you bring it up? And that's what's on right now. This was these segments where they just, it's just a clip show, totally unneeded. I don't give a rat's ass. I've seen these clips 1,000 times. Some of them, most of them, I was there for. I was watching it. I mean, why would you go to the 20th anniversary live? Let's just say I went to this live. I would be pissed off. It was just a normal fucking Raw with clip shows.
That was the
Best.
moment of my life.
It was the best moment of my life.
That was the best thing that ever happened to me in my whole life.
Alright, now it's the cage match between Dolph Ziggler and John Cena. Jim Ross replaces Cole on this one for some reason. I guess he wanted to call one match or something. Hey, here's an idea. Bring him back. So, during the match, and it's one of these Raw Active things, which I still don't understand, because Raw Active is their app, and Raw Active is their app, and they play certain like I guess when they go to commercial, I don't know, I don't have it, I don't want it. Whenever they go to commercial, you can still watch it, like the match, on your iPad or iPhone or Android or whatever. And I don't understand why they bother to replay that on there when they want you to go to the app to watch it. What's the point if they're just going to show it? But anyway, so Big E Langston tries to keep John Cena from scaling like up and over to get out for the win. And pretends it's like the cage and he's like crawling out and he gets here and his like foot is like hanging and Big E Langston like grabs it and they're trying to convince you that Big E Langston is pushing him up and keeping him from exiting the ring. John Cena could just let go of the fucking cage, letting his 300, maybe even 400 pound body just fall on top of fucking fucking Big E Langston, crushing him instantly. Also, I have to point out that I don't remember the rules exactly from whenever the Attitude Era was going on, because, you know, that was like 20 years ago. But I don't remember cage matches. I remember there was sometimes pinfall, but there was never a door. I don't really remember specifically if there was a door. But so the way to win them now, I remember the only way usually was to go over the top. Now it's to go over the top, walk out the door. Just walk out the door. Or pinfall. So, what they're saying is they want you to believe that John Cena, again, 300, 400 pound man, would rather crawl up this probably 7, 8 easy, 8 foot, no, probably 9 foot cage, crawl over it and you know, crawl, okay, crawl over it and leave, like drop down onto the mat, for that rather than just walking out or just pinning the guy. Cena wins. Did you see it going any other way? Now we have the Rock concert. The thing that they've been working up to. He does a song about Paul Heyman, and then he does one about Vicky Guerrero, which I find entirely too offensive. He talks about how ugly she is, and he says, after the song he says, "Man, that's one ugly biatch." And that's not just offensive, it's rude. Especially when you're talking about the late Eddie Guerrero's wife. A man who was a very nice guy, who sacrificed his body for the ring, and you're talking about his wife like this. I found it terribly offensive, and it wasn't funny. I didn't laugh once. Even the Paul Heyman one I didn't find very funny. I think he does another one at one point. I didn't find it very funny as well. Then Punk comes out. Hang on, let me stop this. And then Punk comes out. And I'm guessing they did the Rock concert because they didn't want CM Punk to out-talk The Rock again. Because that's inevitably what he did, because Punk has been there for how many years now? And is one of the best talkers in the game. Whereas Rock was the best talker. And now he's still a good talker. He's just not one of the better ones. He's still pretty good though. But they just have it out. Rock says, "As God is my witness, I'll have that WWE Championship at the end of a Royal Rumble." And then they fight. And that was really it. Yeah. Final thoughts. This show was shambles of what it should have been. They should have had guest stars. I heard Alundra Blaze was going to be there, and Viscera might have been there, or Big Daddy V, as y'all might know him. The younger viewers. Y'all seem to like the Raw ones. Impact, not so much. I got some comments and stuff, but yeah. Feel free to leave a comment. If you like this video, this style better, I'll do it. It's just, it's going to be a lot more editing because it was one straight video before, and this one's a lot chopped up ones. But hey, if it works for y'all, it works for me. It's not that much more work. Excuse me. So, if I don't get enough hits on the Impact ones, I might stop. Being that I kind of get, I don't get flustered, but I get, there's a lot to say because there's so much, but yeah, I didn't care for this 20th Raw. I felt like they weren't prepared. They just rehashed a bunch of video packages I could have seen on any other date that, for whatever reason, they were showing. There was a few good moments. Not much. There's not a lot of matches that I could have said that were very memorable. The Sheamus one up just because he lost. And the Wade Barrett one because he won. Yeah, so I will see you on Friday night for Impact because everybody loves Impact. I didn't do Genesis again because it's Genesis.